to possibly an hour, and well worth your time, because in today's exercise, we're going to help you figure out and establish and discover what happened this past year. 2019, it was a big year for all of us, right? We had ups, we had downs, we had things that worked, we had things that didn't work. There was things that
just keep going.
Okay, that were missing, things that weren't missing, right? So we're gonna really dive deep into today and figure out where that missing piece was for you that maybe you didn't get the results that you wanted this year. Maybe you were shooting for that 6 figures, that 250 mark, and it just didn't happen, right? So we have a really cool exercise that's going to help you figure out what that missing is, and even better, we're going to take it a step further and help you make sure that it doesn't happen for you in 2020, because we want you to go in here powerful. We want you to go in here and really be able to establish and do everything that it is that you want to do this year. So that's what today is all about. We're going to get our planning hats on. We're going to get our discovery hats on, and it's really exciting. So if you don't know who we are, my name is Holly, and this is my amazing husband, Chad. And he's doing some tech stuff, making sure that we are going live in our group as well. But I really want to honor the people that are live on the Zoom today, because it's always best when you're live, right? And you're here with us. So this is an interaction. There's a chat box if you're on the live in the Facebook group. Use the comments below. This is not just all listening. It's also about you guys too. So just a quick intro to us, in case you've never seen anything live from us before, you haven't been on any of our trainings, you're new to our group, you're new to us, welcome. We have been working with transformational coaches in particular for a couple years now. It is our specialty. Why do we work with you guys? Well, for one, you guys are freaking amazing, right? And Chad and I have both been online for about 7 years individually. And we've partnered together in the past couple of years to really put our synergy and our expertise together. We've both been in sales and marketing for about 15 years in our different, I ran a marketing agency. Chad did a door-to-door, hardcore sales. He's one of the best I know in the game. And you've got a lot to learn from him. So, ultimately, though, when we started actually in the agency realm. And we were doing agency work for all types of people, right? We were working with coaches, we were working with publicists, we were working with knee pain doctors, hair restoration doctors, construction workers, you name it, we can do it all, right? Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we couldn't do it all. And I had a major burnout and ended up having a lot of health problems because of it. I actually had a seizure that lasted about 35-40 minutes. We're not quite sure how long it lasted, but what we do know is it left some brain trauma that took about quite some time to work through in my pons and my frontal lobe in my brain that caused a lot of memory problems. It caused a lot of stuff, right? Your brain's pretty important. And so we knew that we had to completely restructure and reformat our business. And that experience was probably the best thing that's ever happened to us, because it made us get really clear on what was really important to us. So we went to an event, we heard this guy named Steve Farber, and the whole purpose of this conference and the whole quote and the motto of this conference that forever transformed our life was, do what you love in the service of people who love what you do. Chad and I, we've been in the personal development, we've been in the transformation space. Really, these 7 years is a transformational journey in itself of entrepreneurship. And so we've gone to the seminars, we've gone to the trainings, we've done all of the things. We could literally be transformational coaches ourselves, and we do some of that with our clients as well. However, by having 15 years of experience and being online and having the results that we have, we know that we can make the greatest impact by working with you guys, so you guys can go out there and get more clients and do what it is you're really purposed to do in this world. So that's that ripple effect, right? So we want to go where we're best served. This is where we're best served, of helping you guys really go out there and be really powerful in what it is that you do.
Yeah, just like Holly said, the ripple effect is really the thing. Is we could be out being transformational coaches. We do some coaching for a transformational company, and we work with, and we constantly putting ourselves on learning new modalities, learning new skills in that realm, because we want to grow and we want to expand ourselves just like you. We want to transform ourselves just like you are there to transform your clients. And we've learned so much, and it's been so amazing. And we have this 15 years each of sales and marketing background that just really kind of makes us the experts of experts in that area. And that's why we decided to work with Transformation Coach, because we love hanging out with you guys. One of our coaches said, don't have a client if wouldn't want to have them and the family come over and hang out.
Yeah, we really live by that, by the way.
We have
a huge, we have an amazing community of coaches that work with us, and that's exactly what we've become, is this family. And they're every single one of them, and I'm sure there's a couple of you guys on here today, I would love the opportunity to go out and have dinner with you and your family. And even a couple of them, we have gone out to dinner, and you've met our family, and that's what our community is about. And we know that your business is only going to grow as far as you do. So this is the time of year where everyone is talking about resolutions, right? I'm going to make this New Year's resolution, and it's going to be incredible, and all of the things, right? And then what happens? We make these crazy resolutions, and for some reason or another, they just don't. I look like I'm frozen, but I'll just keep talking. I don't know if I am or not. So for some reason, let me go on the live here. We kind of froze up, and
there we are. We're back.
Okay, cool. So for some reason, resolutions, they don't work out, right? I almost hear, when I hear the resolution, I'm like, right? And I don't know if you guys are like that too. When the word resolution comes up, everyone is obsessed with that this time of year. And so let's talk about that. So you had a really big breakthrough. I want to let you kind of talk about that.
It was a post that I made the other day about really why resolutions don't work. We set these resolutions, and we make fun of resolutions, but a lot of us aren't actually doing anything much different than resolution. You might set a goal, you might meditate on it, you might even do some visualization, but what does it really take to actually have that become real, right? Real in your hands. And one of the things, and stick, right? And one of the big things is awareness, because a lot of us, and this kind of comes back to, I remember the first couple of years that I was doing internet marketing, right? I remember talking to the guy that was kind of bringing me into the internet marketing world, and I was like, he's like, how much do you want to make? And I'm like, $100,000 a month. And he's like, oh, cool. He's like, he's motivated, and that's cool. You could be all motivated in all you want, right? But if you don't have, what does that really look like? How do you really do $100,000 a month, or even $100,000 in a year? It can never become real. And this is the thing is I wasn't aware of what it really took to get to $100,000 a month. So therefore, I would never get, not in that type of business model, I would never get to $100,000 in a month, right? And so therefore, the first thing you need to really figure out is awareness. And so what does awareness look like in your business, and how do you get aware of what it really takes to hit your goals? And so, awesome, Leslie, thank you. So I help my clients achieve self-awareness. Does everybody see the chat button? So it's, if you go down to the bottom, in the middle, there'll be a little chat thing. That's super awesome.
If you're on Zoom, use it. And if you're live in our group, there's the comments below. We want to hear about you and what it is that you do.
Yes. And Jeff, if you're on here, if you could check in the group for the live, if anybody's commenting on there, and just throw people's comments in here so we know who's on and be able to engage with them too. Okay, so number one is awareness. Being aware of what does it really take to do that, because a lot of our clients come through and they're like, I want to do $100,000 this year. I want to do 200,000, and they're like, what? But they don't really understand what those numbers mean, how easily if you have your program set up right, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, how easy it is to do that as a coach if you're really making an impact with people. And so the next one is, and I'm like, I've created this, and I don't remember. So, the next one is a plan, right? So the plan, so as soon as you know what it takes, then you can actually create a plan around that. And then, so the plan is all cool, and you can have it all laid out, but if you don't actually take the right actions that are going to give you enough of the results to get you to that. So the next one is the right actions, the workable actions that are actually going to get you to get to the result that you really want. So that might be, just talking to enough clients. How many clients do you actually need to talk to, potential clients, to actually get the amount of money? Nobody ever breaks down the numbers for you. So we're going to get into some of that.
And it takes a commitment to that action plan,
yes,
right?
And takes a commitment. So are you committed to actually doing the work?
You want to pull that up while I...
Yes.
Cool. So we had some updates and stuff going on. I want to hook up the iPad here and really get moving. So guys, today we only have an hour, right? Tops. Like I want to be very mindful of everybody's time. I want to be very like meat and potatoes, get to the good stuff here. And there's only so much we can do in so much time, right? So if at any time you want to book a call with us and get on the phone, and we can do even a deep dive more so into, what it is that you're doing and this next year, so you can play, real strong, right? Then by all means, Jeff, if you can put in those links for us or down in the comments or in the chat or whatever, so people at any time during this call, feel free to book a call with us. We do have a few spots available. There we go. Charlie's iPad.
Yay.
Cool. We have a few spots available every week, and we get on and we literally will create a whole game plan session specifically for you and for your business. So the results, we're about to share our iPad here in just a minute, and we're going to go through a little exercise because, as promised, we want to figure out what was the missing piece for you in 2019 and where do you really need to put your focus on in 2020. So the cool thing about this exercise is it's going to have different results for everybody. This is not like a cut and dry.
Let's keep going.
Okay, so this is not like a cut and dry thing where it's like this, this, and this, and it applies to everybody. Because you and I both know that everybody is different, right? Jedi, you're different than Jeff, and Jeff, you're different than Leslie, and everybody has they're at different places in their business. Still not going, huh?
We're working on it.
Cool. So everyone is at different places in their business, so this is a really neat exercise where we're going to figure out exactly what's missing. As soon as we get this iPad thing able to share on our screen, it's going to be awesome. Is it the movie recording? Did you test out that one?
Let me try that one.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, and if it works, cool. There we go. I knew it.
There we are.
Awesome. I knew it would work. You just put full faith in it.
All right. So some of you guys, if you've seen some of the other trainings with you, might have seen this diagram before. And if you're new, welcome. This is our quantum impact model, and it's super, super powerful. And I'm super excited for you to get it to check it out.
Yep. So let's be real, right? I think all of us are out for ultimately the same thing in our life. Right? They say it's happiness. Really, I believe it's fulfillment. It's joy. It's really fulfillment and joy. When you have fulfillment and joy, what does that mean? You're really like living. Oh, get the pencil going. There we go. You're really living in abundance, right?
Who wants that abundance?
Would you guys all agree that really what you're out for in this world is abundance? And that's not just money. That's a few things. Abundance includes freedom. Freedom being able to create your schedule, work with the people that you love, do what it is that you love when you want to do it. That's freedom, right? Another thing, let me change colors here, is impact. You guys are all out to make a huge impact with people. That's why you're here. That's why we connect so well, is because we have that same heart to really make a difference in the world and transform people's lives. And another thing that you need to be able to have abundance is income, right? Freedom is, oh well, that's what it is. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you. is income. You got to have the income to be able to make the impact and really have that freedom. It all goes together. So let's break this down a little bit more. So how do you get this abundance, this freedom, this impact, this income in your life? Well, when you're building your coaching business online, there's really 3 things that you need in order to do this. One is you need to be able to attract people, right? Not just people, but like your perfect people. Your unicorn clients. You're the people that like wake you up excited to be able to work with you. You love doing what you do. It's important. It brings a whole new world, right? When you work with your dream people. Exactly. The next thing you need to do is you need to be able to enroll these people. You can attract all the people you want online, but if you don't have the skills to be able to enroll them into your program, it's not going to matter. So you have to be able to have the skills to enroll them into your program and work with you on the next level. And the third thing, yes, we are transformation coaches, and we still need transformation in ourselves, right? It's important, and we're not just, and we'll get to what these 3 things are. So as we go through this list, we go by the green, yellow, and red model. So as we're going through these things, we're going to break down these 3 things, because really you need 3 basic things and the 3 things. And we're going to go through all of them. And while you go through this, I want you to grab a piece of paper, get a pen, whatever you need to do, and I want you to write down each of these, and then I want you to write down what color you are for each of these. Okay, so we're going to start with the attract piece.
Yep, and so even if you want to draw it out, draw this model out just through, 3 circles and little nub guys, right? And so, but even if you don't, just write it out and list it out. If you're not, a drawer, it's perfect.
Yeah, I love you. So the first thing that you need in your business is your messaging. In order to attract people, you need to have your messaging down packed, right? You can scream at the top of your lungs to your clients, but when you have your messaging down, all it takes is a little whisper and they will hear you, right? So this is your wording, your content, your posts, your site, your offer. Everything revolves around your messaging.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do right now is I want you to rate yourself. Are you green, as in you got your messaging down packed? Every time you put a post up and it's all congruent with each other, you know exactly what your messaging is. You're a green, high five, congratulations. You don't need to work on that at all this year. Keep doing what you're doing. If you are a yellow, I want you to write down a yellow. A yellow meaning, do you have something?
Yeah, so it's really just is your messaging landing? Is your avatar you know exactly who you're speaking to? Every time you get on a live, you have one person really in mind. That's when you know your avatar is rocking, you're speaking exactly to an income level, you're speaking to a specific person, you're speaking to almost even a profession. Some of you work with only people in a certain profession. The tighter you can get with that, the more impactful your messaging. When you put something out there, your people run, right? When you throw something out, people just go, whoa, that is for me, right? And that would be like a 10 is you're having no issue with your messaging. Everything is just flowing. If you're yellow, you're probably not super clear on who your perfect person is. Maybe you put something out there, sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you're just feeling a little wobbly about, well, should I aim higher for a better clientele? Should I, I'm really more heart-centered over here. I love these people. What I do makes a bigger impact for these people. We have a whole thing, we have a whole thing called the perfect triangle that we do with our clients that helps them get super clear on their perfect person, that they'll know exactly who the perfect person is. Yes, so that's great. Oh. Read. What's going on? So who knows who your perfect person is? Drop it in the comments. Let us know who your perfect client is. Have you ever had your perfect client show up as a client when you're like, man, they got such great results. I loved hanging out with them. They had the money to pay me. Everything is just super, just like, wow, they were so great. I love working with them. Like, we've had several of those. I
think everyone we work with, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say yes. And I feel like there's always that. You can even get even clearer on that top. It's like when you get so many amazing clients, and then you're like, okay, how can I get the top 20% of them? And then you can keep on doing that.
Totally. All right, so right now, because we do only have so much time,
Yes.
I would love to dive into all of these.
Yes.
And at any time you want to go deeper into them, shoot us a message, book a call, and we can go, like, what's going to be that next phase for you. So rate yourself right now. Is it green? Is it yellow? Is it red? We need to figure out what's not working and what's working really great. So when we create that plan for you here in a little bit after we go through this, you know exactly what that's going to look like, right? So right now, let us know. Jedi says he's between orange. He's about an orange between red and yellow. Fair enough. Very cool. So you probably have some work to do there. Leslie's green. Awesome. High five, Leslie. That's amazing. So the next thing, we'll move on here real quick, is your tribe, right? You're building your tribe online. You're building an audience. I heard this thing that someone actually told one of our clients that they didn't have any business being online because they didn't have an audience. So you don't have to have a huge following online for this stuff to work, right? Mm-hmm. But however, when you have your messaging down and you start building a tribe, like start having, where did he go? Sorry.
No, that's good.
When you start building a tribe, you know, this is like typically a Facebook group. This is we found Facebook groups to be the most efficient. So do you have a tribe? Are you building your audience? Rate yourself right now, green, yellow, or red, and let us know in the comments which ones are you.
Yeah, so green is like they're hopping, right? You post something in there, they're engaging, they're super excited, they're like ready to whatever you offer them, they're like hot and loaded, ready to go. And yellow is like, you know, I have some people, they're like, but they kind of hang out, they're not really doing anything, they're not super engaging. And red is you don't have nothing, or you're just like, you know, like there's just nothing going on.
Yeah, and I want to point out too, as you're rating yourself green, yellow, and red, where you are is perfect.
Yes.
Right? There is no like, I'm terrible and wrong and bad because I'm red and this isn't working. Right? So I want you to take out all the judgments as you're rating yourself here, and you know, we're just being honest so we can know where to go from here. Right? And there's nothing to prove to anyone, not even yourself. Like, you are where you are, and it's perfect exactly where you are. Right? So Leslie says yellow, but some green. Cool. Okay, so you got a little bit of work to do there, and that's totally cool. So, you have something else?
No, it's good.
Cool. So after your tribe, the next thing you need to be able to attract people is, we like to call this F-yeah content.
Yeah. So what is F-yeah content? I love this subject. It's one of my favorite. And so your content is really doing three things. It's attracting, it's overcoming objections and building deep rapport, and it's like shooting out messages to get people to respond, to get them to jump on the phone with you, to buy, right? And so maybe you're like really amazing at attraction content, where you when somebody sees your content, they're like, oh, that's super cool, and they're like engaging and all this stuff. But if they book a call, they really don't know exactly what you do. They still have a bunch of objections. They have all that stuff, right? So that means like there's a point in there that's like missing. And then there's the aspect of there's no content. I see people doing this all the time. They put amazing content out there. Maybe it does overcome objections. Maybe it does attract people. Maybe it does do this. But they never have any call to actions for people to book a call. They have never have any, you know, hey, reach out to me. Hey, you know, let's do this. And we have all kinds of frameworks that we work with our clients on that helps them really get the people to reach out to them and book calls and do all that process.
Overcome objections, and ultimately, and we call it F-yeah content because we want people, like, your content, when other people see it, they're like, F yeah. I keep moving the iPad. I apologize. They see your content and they're like, F yeah, that's my person.
Yes.
Like that's the result. That's the factor, the F yeah factor that we're talking about. Chad and I, we have a rule in our world that if it's not a F yeah, it's a F no.
Yeah, right? And the other reason it's called F yeah is because when they get on a call with you, by the time they get through a little bit of a call and they're like, you know what, F yeah, I'm in, right? I'm in. I'm ready to join. I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to whatever you're offering. I want it.
Yeah.
Right.
So rate yourself. Are you red? Are you yellow? Or are you green? You yellow? Or are you red in your F yeah content area?
Yep.
And then let us know because we want to know too. This is an interaction. Jedi's red. Awesome. Nothing wrong with that. So we got work to do there. Cool.
Love that concept. What up, Brandon? I love that you ditched your client for us. I appreciate that.
Hey, Brandon, what's going on?
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry you didn't.
Anything but an enthusiastic yes is a no. Yes, agreed. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yellow with green. I've had a few people saying hell yeah DMs to me, so I have booked calls. Awesome. I love that.
That's great. Well, the real question, Leslie, is when they get on the call, are they like, yep, I'm in. Do they want to buy like right away? It's cool. Yeah, you can book calls all day long. But if they're not saying yes on the call, and maybe the next phase what we're getting into, the enrollment process, is kind of your sticking points. But all right, let's get into the next one.
Let's get into the enrollment process.
Yes.
So the enrollment process, the first thing before you enroll people is having a signature offer. Right. So a lot of times we see coaches doing one-on-ones, selling by sessions. And not really having a signature offer.
Yep.
Now, a signature offer, it's, I like to think of it as, I think even our mentor shared an offer with us this way, or one of our past mentors. You can have a phone, right? And you can buy this phone. Like, I'll let you buy my phone for $300. This is a pretty good deal for $300. This is a nice phone.
Yeah.
But just for number reasons, we'll just, whatever. So, I could just sell you outright my phone, just like your clients, right? You can just sell them outright for your package. Like, yeah, I sell, gosh, we've seen anywhere from like $150. We've even seen $60 a session. And that's okay, right? It's just, you don't know what you don't know. So hopefully that you're learning something here. So now if I took this phone though, and I put, you will have a podcast to listen to every single day for the whole next year on this phone that's going to help you build your audience, create F yeah content, have your messaging, and like every day you're going to get something from us. Not only that, but we're also going to give you a whole preloaded series of every Tony Robbins program. Chad's just checking to make sure all good. Every Tony Robbins program he's ever made is also on this phone that you're going to get. So what just happened to this phone? This $300 phone just now turned into like a $10,000 phone, right? And that's really what a signature offer does, is it puts you're creating and structuring a program around what it is that you do, and it's not just your sessions. You're making it so much more, where the value is up. It's a deeper transformation in your clients, and best yet is you don't have any competition than anybody else. There's nobody that can compare to your signature offer unless they straight out copy what it is that you do, right? And even then it's not going to work, because you are you, and who you are makes you completely different. Right, so having a signature offer is super important when it comes to the enrolling process. All of this feeds into each other if you can't tell, right? The messaging, the tribe, the F yeah content, the leading into your signature offer. So I want you to rate yourself right now. Do you have a signature offer? Is it leverageable? Is it valuable? Is it more than just a one-on-one session, or like a 6-pack of sessions for, I don't know, $497 or $990, whatever it is that it is, right? So let us know if you are green, yellow, or red. This is something that we're really good at putting offers together. So if you need help putting your offer together, I urge you to book that call with us and create that game plan session. And let's create a really strong offer. You got something?
So yeah, just to kind of say to Leslie, so I've got that. If you guys aren't in the chat, definitely jump them in the chat because you're missing some of the gold of like what's going on. And so, so Leslie, as far as that, you don't want to be reaching out to people to book calls. You want to be getting them to reach out to you. Great content gets people to reach out to you. It really sets, it grabs people's attention to the attraction part is super awesome, but it's so sexy that they're like, I want that. It's like an offer to even just reach out to you. And so it's an offer before the offer. So that's kind of going back to that FEI content, Leslie.
Yeah. So Elise said, oh, hey girl, glad to see you on here. Elise said my offer. It's Tracy. Yes, I was doing your offer. Not sold yet. Red. All is well.
What's up, Dan?
Dan, cool. That's amazing that you're getting these great ideas to make that green. That's what we want for you. So the next piece in the enrolling is, you've rated yourself red, yellow, or green, yellow, or red. The next piece is to be able to have qualifying. I'm a lefty, so sometimes this is tricky for me. Is to have qualifying conversations. So what does this mean? This is the conversation piece that you have before you ever book, like you're not on the phone with them yet, right? We see a lot of coaches that they just jump to like free breakout sessions and like get on the phone and have these phone calls.
I'm going to spend 2 hours with you and I'm not going to get paid nothing. And it's not even going to offer, yeah.
So we see it a lot, a lot of time goes into, free breakthrough sessions or getting on the phone with people, and the calls are lasting hours long and you're giving them all this value. And then at the end, they're not signing like to work with you. And you may be sitting there like, what in the world just happened? Like I'm getting on the call with all these people. I'm talking to them. I'm doing all of the things, but they're not buying into my program, right? So it starts with having qualifying conversations before you ever get on the phone with them. We really literally have a format that we give all of our clients that's like super precise on how to qualify and have qualifying conversations that's moldable to like no matter what it is that you're doing. And when you have these conversations, what happens is when you go to get on the call with people, they're like to the point, they're with qualified people, and like there's already rapport established in these. So as you're booking these calls, are you having constructive, qualifying conversations before you ever talk to prospective clients? So just give yourself, what color are you here? Is this an area that you may need to work on going through this next year? Is it, are you green? Are you good? You're qualifying everybody. Everybody you get on the phone with is a qualified prospect. There's no like huge objections that are happening because you've already qualified them before you got on the phone with them?
Yeah, it's really, the big thing is this, is like, are you getting on calls with people that they're not your people, they have no really interest in what you have to offer, maybe they're just wanting freebies. Are you, like, do you find yourself just like, you getting on a call and like you have to build so much rapport? Like really the best thing is if you get on a call with somebody, we had this the other day. We had a person that joined our coaching program and she was like, I feel like I'm on a call with celebrities, right? Because she had watched all of our content, FEI content. Our messaging was down, speaking exactly to who she was, right? And like exactly to the right demographic, and like speaking right to her. And she felt so heard in our content, right? But then our qualifying process got it to the point where she was like, I feel like I had to earn being on this call, right? Do people feel like they've earned being on a call with you, or are you selling them on calls? Right? You got to really think of your process and what does that look like.
So what do you mean by qualifying conversations? DMs?
It could be.
Could be. Yep. It's that conversation that you have with people before you book a call with them.
Yep. Yeah, it could be an elaborate survey questionnaire that's super almost like aggressive at like screening people out. Or like we like to do is we do both. We have our chat process that we teach all of our clients to screen them out, and we have our 5 musts. What are the musts that you need for like what are the musts that people need to be your avatar, and we teach them that. So rethinking the idea of sample sessions. Love it. Awesome, Dan. Good.
Yes, totally. Cool. So you guys are rating yourself.
Let us know.
Yeah,
Leslie, where do you think you are with qualifying?
And then I know there's a little delay there, so we'll keep moving so we're good on time. So the next thing here in the enrollment piece is to have converting conversations. Right? You can have all the qualifying conversations, but it's all about converting, right? So also having converting conversations.
Hey, Angel. Hey, Amanda. Just saw you jumped on.
Awesome. Great to see all you guys on Facebook that's hopping on, and for, just appreciate all you guys. I hope you guys, I'm glad you guys are getting some good stuff with this. See, some people have reached out to me, but I've had 15-minute calls with them. Some have converted to clients.
Great job.
Yeah, that's awesome. So converting conversations, this is really like your close rate. So how many times are you getting on the calls? And I'm here meditating on this. Perfect. Let us know how.
What up, Michael?
Yeah, appreciate you being on here. So converting conversations, how are your conversations in your calls, right? Do they get awkward at the end? Do you feel like you're like getting all salesy and pushy almost? Do they get uncomfortable? Are you spending a ton of time giving a lot of value to people, and then they're not making that switch over to a client?
Yeah, do you have a weird, like, you're like not sure how to transition from building rapport and asking questions to like, here's the offer? Like, do you sometimes feel like maybe are you constantly getting the, well, that sounds like a lot of money conversation? Do you, like, what is the process that you bring people through? Do you even have a process that, like, okay, so you show up and you ask some questions and then they turn into client? How does that look like? Open book, I think I've left some money on the table for fear of being too pushy. I'm helping them find a way to be resourceful, to invest in themselves.
So I really want to honor you.
Where does that show up, Leslie?
No, and thank you for being like an open book, because you are not the only person.
No, right? There's other people out there.
There's a ton of people out there that feel like they're being too pushy or like salesy, and nobody likes to feel that, right? So it can get really awkward in conversations if you don't have a really smooth framework to follow, where it's ultimately, if you're agreeing here, like the conversation works in such a way that it smooths up where the client or the prospect is actually selling themselves on why they want to join your program.
Yes.
Right? That is agreeing. And that's where you want to be, is where it's not pushy. It's a very natural conversation. Everyone feels good about what's happening through the process. And it doesn't take a lot of time. And I think that's a big one too. We don't want you to be spending all your time on the phone. That's not freedom.
Yeah, that's a good one too, Elise. She never knows what to charge for what.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like in the offer point, right? Sounds like that's more back there. But as far as Leslie, like you really need a process to get them to sell you on why they need to be a client. And so if you create or if you use our framework, or a framework that you create on your own, of getting them to constantly sell you and constantly be pushing the conversation forward in the like, well, what do we do next? Like, how can I get started? How do I buy from you? How do I give you money? Right? Like, if you want those questions and them to constantly, and so what's the process that you've created to get them to say that constantly? Right?
Yeah. If you need help with that, then here we are.
Yeah. And if you want to book a call, I'll drop the link below.
Cool. And I will, rate yourself there. Are you green, yellow, red? And we're going to take all of these here very shortly after we go through this transform. And we're going to really create a plan with you for all of your reds and for all of your yellows to be able to really shift those, because we want all of these green, right? And there's always going to be
clients,
I believe.
Yellow, red.
Cool. So this next piece, this transformation, is personally one of my favorites. And even though we're all transformational coaches, we're out to transform
Philip?
other people. There's a transformation that has to happen within ourselves, right? There's a transformation in a few different areas that we need to, it's not, we can give you all the strategies in the world, but it's not all strategy, right? You know that, I know all of you guys know that, the importance of a few different things. So the first thing, let me change colors here and make this super pretty. Go for teal. Teal's my favorite.
Who on here feels like they don't have enough time to like really work their business, right? Or like you're like so busy like trying to find clients, and it's like when you get the clients, then you don't have enough time to go find more clients because you're delivering the clients.
So you feel like almost time has become a master of you instead of you becoming a master of your time. Right? There's a big shift there that needs to be able to take place for you to be able to really make that 250K and beyond is the time transformation piece. So, and we're all out being entrepreneurs and running a business. It's like we always joke around with Jeff, and Jeff's a part of our team. Like we used to see that gif of the never ending story where he's like up on that little white dude and he's like this. So it's like doing all of the things, but doing all of the things in a way where you're progressing forward and you are the master of your time. That's what we want for you, where you're not getting overwhelmed by all of the things. You have a good, clear, like, you're a time management ninja. You're a green. If you're like, I'm balancing my business and getting new clients and sales and my family and like all of this stuff, and it's kind of stressful, and I have no idea how to get more time in my life because it's already so full. Probably a yellow or a red. If you're totally stressed out all the time, you don't have time to do anything. You're definitely a red here. And again, nothing wrong with that. It's just what it is. Something to work on. So rate yourself here. Are you a green? Are you a yellow? Are you a red? We literally have, Jeff actually helps our clients find an extra 5 to 10 hours a week with his time management stuff. He's pretty awesome. So Leslie says, yes, I'm balancing a lot. Sometimes I need to take time for me, but I feel guilty when I do that. You always need to take time for you and drop the guilt of that, because that's how you can fill your cup. Your cup's got to fill so we can pour it out to other people. I'm like a total diva in the morning. That's where I take my time. I take like literally 2 to 3 hours before I get up and like I'm on social media and like out there in the world. That's my personal time. And I have a little bit at night too. So I stopped feeling bad about it because I knew that's how I run on my best. So let us know where you're at with time. And the next thing is, we call this the breakthrough session. We have asked so many people what they feel like the biggest thing that stops them from being able to really reach their goals. And 9 out of 10 people have said themselves, right? And ultimately, it really is 10 out of 10, but that that one person didn't really want to admit it. But we are being able to be unstoppable in the face of no agreement and going out there, no matter what circumstances you're going through, no matter what fears come up, being able to break through fears and break through, the different things that come up as we're growing in our business. There'll be different things, no matter where you are. It's just inevitable, right? But having the resources and the tools and the distinctions to be able to move forward with power and not let yourself get in your own way, right? And so rate yourself here. Do you feel like sometimes you stop yourself? Right? And again, there's nothing wrong with any of this. It's the what is, right? And in order to be able to move forward powerfully and put a plan together, you have to be really honest with yourself of where you really are, right? And so awareness is the first step to be able to do anything in life. So
thank you, Leslie. I'm curious, Leslie, I just so for our own self-esteem purposes, what specifically sets us apart? I'm just curious. And thank you. And thank you. And think of that as not just a signature offer for us of like what we do, but that's the same thing for you. You want to take and put things into you and your programs and what you do to set yourself apart from any other coaches too, right? That's just so important.
Yep. And
Yeah, well, that's
we
important.
definitely genuinely care and want to help. Yes.
Jeff, screenshot that. Both of them.
And I appreciate both of you guys. And this third thing, this is a transformation because we go through, what society tells us and, charging by sessions and per hour. Did I spell it right?
Yes, that's lethargic. I don't think we want any of that.
Probably don't want you lethargic.
Maybe after eating some Christmas cookies, you might be a little lethargic.
Leverage.
Well, Leslie, that's just positioning, right? When we've come from, had some of the best mentors in the world of setting us up for really having the life, right? That's freedom. If you don't have the freedom aspect, it's just so much better.
Cool. So this leverage piece, leverage being, you need leverage in your life, period. You need systems, you need processes, you need frameworks, you need to be able to, time and leverage, it all goes together. That's why we put this in the transformation, because it really is a transformation of doing everything on your own to be able to having systems be put in place to be able to leverage your time so you can have that freedom, like make a deeper impact because you're able to reach more people, which in turn does bring the income, right? So leverage is, we put this last because ultimately we don't want you to go running to go make a funnel right away. Actually, we feel like that's like the last thing you need to be doing right away is making funnels and putting all of your time into funnels when all of this other stuff is super important. And we can find leverage without putting in a bunch of tech and a bunch of like stuff. So I want you to rate yourself on leverage. And however, it's important because that's how you're going to scale. And you want to create something that's scalable from the very beginning. So a lot of times coaches go out there and they they'll tell you, I totally lost my train of thought.
They tell you to go start running ads or building funnels like right off the bat. There's so many people out there that are like, oh, you got no following, you're not making any money. You should totally just build this like funnel or website, either way, and just start running traffic to this funnel. Well, if it's a website, they're like, well, build it and they will come. And if it's a funnel, they're like, oh, well, you got to get Facebook ads so then you can run it to this funnel. And literally, you're like throwing money out the window.
You're one funnel away, like 300 funnels later.
One funnel away to bankruptcy. And so literally, if you are not, like, it's so bad, right? There's like, there's the other way of, what we're going to do is we're going to build a webinar funnel and we're going to build a webinar and we're going to drive cold traffic down this webinar, which is going to be like $10 a lead, right?
More than $10.
$10 to $50 a lead, like lead in the front end, not lead to call. And then we're going to do a super high pressure webinar that's going to like super make them feel super shitty about themselves. Right? They're going to feel really, really bad about themselves and to the point where they're going to book a call and then your sales rep's going to get on and they're going to pound them so hard and give them such a sense of urgency that if they don't buy now, that they're going to essentially freaking, they're going to die if they don't buy.
That, and if people don't know you, like if you guys didn't know us, would you come sit here with us for now, even though this is super valuable stuff? Would you sit with us for an hour, right? Probably not if you didn't know who we were, right? So we don't actually run ads to webinars at all. Actually, we have our tribe and we work with our tribe. And, the ads and stuff that we do run goes to building our tribe and building our audience. So
yeah, and then building a relationship with them. It's the FYI content, attract, warm, and then reach out, get them to reach out and say, hey, I want your program, not the skip a bunch of steps and slam something down somebody's throat.
Yep. So this is really like the piece, right? So by now, you've gotten a good sense of what was missing in 2019, those reds. That's what happened, right? That's just what is. Now, We're moving into that new year. We're not doing the resolution thing. However, we can recognize that, it's everything is kind of resetting for a lot of us, right? So it's time to make that shift, and whatever wasn't working, let's make that working, right? And let's really make a plan for 2020 that it can be super powerful for you. So all of the reds and all of the yellows, our next step in what you want to do is you're going to take all of those, and I don't know if we're going to get it all done, but I'm going to encourage you guys afterwards too to keep doing this. We call it a brain dump. So a brain dump is having a session where you do not tell yourself no to anything. You literally write down all of the possible things that you could do to make this green or make this red into a green. Go ahead.
Yep, I like it. So I love it. We came up with it together. But and so let's do this. Let's go through messaging. Can you give a blank slate or yes, down here. Perfect. So let's write a messaging and go. Okay, so this is really just brain dumping. What could you do, or what are the things, we'll just start giving you some ideas of things that you could do. So we have something called the perfect triangle in our thing. So that's going to help. So avatar work. Really, if you're not red, or if you're not green in your messaging, it's probably getting really, having really issues with your avatar. So we have the perfect triangle. That's our way of doing this amazing. And what it does is it takes in consideration of the people that you really love to work with, the people that you make the biggest impact with, and the people that have the money. So that's super important. So keeping that in mind. The next thing is, what are some of the more things to work on? So fears and frustrations. What are your clients really working through that they're struggling to? What keeps them up at night that you can start creating content around or getting your messaging really down with, right? What's some of the other stuff?
So on the other side of fears and frustrations, because you don't want to always lead by fears, are what is their biggest aspirations and what is that they the things that they really, really want.
Yep.
Right. So the other side of that is aspirations.
That's good. Goals, what do they really want to get out of life?
Yep. So that's an example of doing a brain dump. Now, if you've had multiple reds here, by all means, you're going to want to do a brain dump for each red and yellow section that you had, and you're going to have by the end of this a very everyone's list is going to be different of where they're at, and all of it is okay. And truly, if at any time you're going through this, you're I don't even know what I need.
Yeah.
I need help with this. That's what I know that I need.
Yes.
Cool. Then I want you to put Chad and Holly.
Yeah.
And book a call with us.
Exactly.
I really just misspelled my name there. Don't tell anybody. So book a call with us and let's create a game plan session with you. Give you some ideas, get you going in the right direction. So you can be really powerful. I'm going to have Chad put that in there. Actually, he just kind of jumped in it. I'm be authentic there. So after you have all of your brain dumps in every section, we have another thing. We live by FYA, and we also live by our calendar.
Yeah.
Right? No joke. Our calendar every day is we know exactly. We used to even put date night in our calendar. If you can see, literally our calendar is full. We know exactly what we're doing at all times. We have not just meetings, not just travel time for our meetings, but when we're working, if we have to work, we're working on content ideas or we're putting something together, we put it in our calendar and it's there. I'm trying to think what else is in our calendar. Just look. Everything is in our calendar, right? KPI calls, we have stats and stuff that we enter in and put in we're in a leadership group that we do. Connecting time, when we message and connect with people, it's in our calendar. Video and training planning. So our training that we did to plan for this, we made a time, we put it in our calendar, right? So as you have all of this brain dump in, want you to get your calendar out and plan times to implement every single, like, the things that really work for you that you're like, yeah, that's great. I need to implement that in my business. This needs to happen. Yeah, I know that this is going to work. This is going to happen.
We dropped a lot of things, right, in the FEI content. We talked about, hot or warm and cold traffic, or content made for each of those. We talked about qualifying. So which one of these can you throw in? Like, drop it in the comments. Which ones are you wanting to add to your business? What are you starting to see is going to be of value to start implementing and putting into your coaching and start landing some more clients and getting some more results?
Jeff said dinner, so I'm like, I do. We have dinner in our calendar of when we eat. Lunch and dinner are in there, right? Because it's so important. I want to make sure that I eat. I'm a pregnant mama. So after you are targeted content, great offers ready, perfect. So after you have this brain dump, go put this stuff in your calendar from whether it be today or tomorrow up until however long it's going to take you. Maybe you just focus on one thing a day or couple things a day. Maybe you need to add to your calendar a call with us so we can help you get really clear and create that game plan. Let's get that.
We have frameworks for every single one of these things. So you don't have to guess, is this what they meant? Is this what they're doing? Let's actually get on a call and we can chat about how we can specifically help with this, right?
Yeah. If your sales calls, you don't have that framework, you don't want to feel pushy, we have a whole framework that our clients literally ask us.
If you're not sure about your offer, and what we like to do is set up a program that is leveraged, right? Meaning, even before you get into automation or systems or anything, we want it to where you can handle as many clients as you possibly can bring in. Then you're not getting overwhelmed and your clienteles are getting stacked up. So it's going to be some sort of group. But how do you set up a group coaching program that is that makes as much impact and intimacy and really makes a difference with your clients, and you don't lose that that connection that you would normally have in a one-on-one situation? How do you hold a bunch of people accountable? How do you, what else? Create a community around it so then they're cheering on each other and really putting, they feel like they're
creating that culture.
Yeah, that culture.
But it's not just about you. It's not just about one client, but it's really the culture and community that you're growing and you're building, and having that excitement between everybody. Right, and so that's super important. Have you considered a group coaching program within the Quantum Impact model? Absolutely, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly, it's not exactly just group coaching, because we have a signature offer that we have a few things that we offer within that, but it is all, our program is Quantum Impact. Yes.
Yes, and it's group coaching, and it's a Facebook, a group, a support group, where we hold them accountable and hold them through the process. And we also have one-on-one aspect to it so that we can just say they have something, they can't wait till Wednesday, and we can just jump on and just handle shit. Yeah,
and we have breakthrough sessions. So if anything is limiting you,
Leslie,
getting out there,
book a call.
Yeah, let's book a call and let's talk more. That's what we do, what we help with, and what we specialize in. We do it all day, and we absolutely love what it is that we do because we believe in you guys. So, Michael Lewis, I'm glad that your calendar was the big takeaway today. Just one little thing on that is being integrous
to your calendar.
To your calendar.
Yes.
So, you tell we live this, right? Is you can put it on the calendar. But then it's the integrity of doing what it is you say you're going to do and doing it on your, setting that time aside. This is the time that I've set it aside to work on my avatar, to do avatar work. I'm going to tune off everything else, and this is what I'm going to work on, right? And it's being that precise. So guys, I super appreciate you. I'm glad that you guys got a lot out of this. Go take your brain, start brain dumping all of your red and your yellows. Start putting them on the calendar.
I just want to put one thing. So I'm having a conversation with Angel on here. I don't know if you're still on. Angel, if you're still on, drop it down. Mention The call. Okay, so see how happy and bright you got when you mentioned the call. Awesome. So Angel said, I feel like I don't need any more training. I've had many years in sales background, but in the products, not services. I just want to add another person to work with, work this area in my business for commission. That's where I'm at. So Angel, this is the thing is, one, do you have an offer, right, that's really set yourself apart that you can charge a lot for? I don't know, right? I don't know this question. So that's one thing. Two is, what if you could give that person all of these frameworks and all of these strategies so that they're not, and I don't think it's just one person, just sales. I think you want the marketing handled too, and I get that. But it's really, if you could bring in people that could help you. Dan, have you booked a call yet? Let's chat. I know you've been following us for a while. I don't think we've ever actually chatted. I never was able to find you on Facebook, but I'm glad mailing the list actually makes a difference. So that's good. But so Angel, just answering your question. So it's really about having these. So we have a girl named Karen, and she has a VA and business person that comes in, and what she does is she goes through the trainings, and then she does the work, and she shows up to the calls, and we hold like her accountable and help her through the process. So it's not just you get to do, it's not training so much for you, it's training for your person.
For your team.
In your team.
Right? So as you're growing.
How to build that team. How do you find that team? How do you find a person that actually, because you might find one of these sales guys that are super schemy and they're just going to high pressure your people. And you don't want that. That's going to wreck your business.
Yeah. So good things to think about. So I'm super grateful that this has been invaluable to so many of you guys and that you've gotten a lot of value from this. You have some big action steps to take now. Doing that brain dump, coming up with some ideas. You know, if you want to book a call again, book the call. More than happy to have that conversation with you. Put stuff in your calendar so that moving forward, let's have a super powerful 2020 and beyond. Let's really go out there and make a difference and an impact in other people's lives. We appreciate you. As we said, we didn't want to go in over more than an hour. It looks like we went 3 minutes over, so I apologize. And
I think it was worth it.
I think it was worth it. Yeah. So we appreciate you, and we will speak to you guys all soon.
Bye.